Welcome everyone to the Master Box, where today we have another riveting Steel Division League game. With me, co-casting is the Graham Slam. Graham, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. Here on the left side in the blue, we have Mimile playing as 26 Panzer, V for victory. On the right in the red, Jaapaasa playing as DFL, Maverick, and we're on Bobber, so the only tolerable river map. And welcome in, everybody, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas everyone, 'tis the season. Now, with Bobber, I personally am a big fan of just pushing up north and just trying like hell, especially if you're on the mill side, to take that, like, hill to then deny anything from coming in with anti-tank guns. But, like, I'm curious if they, or to hear what you think.
Well, I think from Emile's point of view, that's 9 out of 10 times that's where you want to push. The problem is he's going against against DFL, which does have partisans. You know, there are like that can be either our M8s. Like he can get there pretty quickly, set up there, and kind of play havoc on the more mechanized formations that Mimile's going to bring to the table. So I might have opted for a more traditional, maybe like a more southern push. But normally I would agree with you. It's just, it could be hard. We'll just have to see it play out.
Yeah, I think both players are actually, like, just gonna butt their heads up north.
Yeah.
Like, if we're noticing, both the players are like, this is the key terrain, we're doing this. Except for the fact that Jaapaasa is actually pushing to the southern portion of that, like, hill, and then Mimile's just going it hard.
Yeah, all these, he's trying to get all these stock troops. He brought them in the, in the half-track SKFZs. I don't really like that move. I mean, it's... Sure, the 37 goes down, but it did kill a transport. This M8 here has actually done a significant amount of damage. Now, this SDKFZ might auto-annihilate it. There's a chance for that, but also... Oh, but it actually got the 50 cal stunning it there. So this is... I don't actually really like this so far, Mimile. I prefer Jaapaasa's positioning.
Yeah, I think Jaapaasa did a good job there, especially if you look throughout the map. He has partisans in different areas, and I don't really think he's going to be using those more as, like, anti-tank, like, fuck you surprises, but more of just, like, reconnaissance, especially, like, in the deep south, where you can, like, maybe move it out and try to see what Mimile starts bringing in, if there is actually.
Well, a big thing as well, Mimile did not ping where the partisans kind of unloaded, so there's a high chance he lost the initial positioning of them, which means as they move through these buildings and stuff, I mean, where's the G87 going? Okay, he's going to kill the 105 down south. That's a nice little pick. But it's going to make it actually kind of difficult for him, and you never know with the partisans. If they can set up in a building and you don't see it, you're getting a Panzerfaust right to the face. I've seen games where, like, I remember Tosdi, he got like 6 or 5 armored kills with one partisan on a road, and the guy just forgot. It can happen. It's not as common anymore, but it definitely can happen.
I've had it happen to me, where I just looked at him like, how the hell did this partisan get like 500 points? And I look and I'm like, oh, a Panther. Oh, it's a Panzer IV. Oh, these infantry squads. And I'm like, how did this happen? And then you watch the replay and you're like, God damn it.
Right, yep, and then you understand. There's a Bofors brought up by Jaapaasa here. That 105 with no air support probably was a bad idea. It's kind of free bait for Ju-87s that you're gonna get with 26 Panzer. And this is where it's gonna get interesting. The divisions they're very different from each other, right? DFL is all about, like, CQC infantry. 26 Panzer is obviously a Panzer division, though it does have a little more flavor to it. And some others, as we see there, the Stosstroop Beretta can be absolutely disgusting in the right situation, because the Molotov cocktails and the 6 Berettas, though the Legionnaires in significant numbers should be more than adequate to handle them due to the their irresolute trait, right? What's the trait called? Yeah. Fanatical trait. Thank you.
I'm gonna point this out real quick that that Ju-87 D5 micro was on point, because he hit the 105s with the 250s, and he just pushed a 500 into that chalk squad in that forest. But he doesn't have any follow up. Oh, now he's got the flamethrower doing the follow up, knowing that he pinned those shocks. That's wild. Good job on that micro. You don't see that very often. Normally it's just like you dump your entire load. No. Mimile was like, I'm going to put a piece here, and I'm going to put a piece here.
Yeah, he understood how much HE it takes to actually take out some of those harder targets, so you don't need every single bomb to do it. That's not very common. That is a very elite kind of play right there. Most players aren't really paying attention to it to that degree. Though we do see this Panzer IIIM here pushing up. It's going to kill this M5 half-track, but it's going to put it right here in range of the Commandos. And the Commandos with the bazooka here should get a kill, yeah. And that's an easy trade. You take a Panzer IIIM for a little half-track every single day of the week. Legionnaires are cleaning up a good chunk of those Stosstroop Beretta. So this northern position here is going to, I think, probably fall from Mimile. It's kind of hard to say. There's a Jagdpanzer IV coming up. And he does have some dudes kind of isolated. Yeah, you see the commandos, the commandant there, the BIPs engaging. this is where the real big difference in the infantry is going to play out, is that while the infantry for DFL, it can be disgusting in the right situations, it's very CQC focused, versus when you even running up against base Panzer Grenadiers, MG34s, they will beat just about every single one of the infantry units that you have for DFL in an open, stand-up LMG fight.
Yeah, the fact that that BIMP in green cover was fighting with that Panzer Grenadier MG34 in open terrain, and somehow the Panzer Grenadier still wins. Woo.
Yep. Yeah, commandos go down. Jaapaasa should have moved them, so that's more free value for this Ju-87 here. Now,
that might be
Jaapaasa,
a second Ju-87, honestly, because he's got.
Oh yeah, based on the reload time, that might be. Yeah, that probably is the second one. I will say this isn't. There's both players are still very much game right here. It is 12-12. Jaapaasa is obviously Maverick, Mimile being V for victory. So Mimile's going to want to do damage here, or at least put himself in a position to absorb the B phase of Jaapaasa. And there's an opportunity for that. He is still holding on to his foothold across the river, though the same can be said for Jaapaasa. That's just kind of, the situation right now is kind of a little ghetto. But this M10 coming up should be able to help push back, but this Jagdpanzer IV could actually be a big problem, though there is a BIP and a Commandant Legion squad, so we'll just have to kind of see it play out.
No, I'm really excited to see this because I really honestly think that Mimile's entire game, to win this game, he has to push these guys off of this to then put his support equipment in. So then Jaapaasa can't even, with his income, unless he's just feeding meat into the grinder, take back that hill. And I think that Mimile understands this, and he is pushing like this is his only thing,
Yeah, Mimile's definitely has to commit here. You need a substantial terrain advantage at a minimum to go take yourself into B phase due to the drastic income disadvantage. Oh, these partisans are actually on the move there in the middle. The M10 here going to try and engage the Panzer III. Looks like the first shot missed, I believe. Oh, no, it didn't actually shoot.
No, he's firing at the MG.
Yeah, HE. Yeah, I think he targeted it for a second and then pulled it back. This is, actually a good bombing run here by Jaapaasa would actually be really good damage.
Yeah, with how punched up everything is, you're gonna have to do the war crimes mechanic because the legionaries are fanatical, but dead to a man.
Yeah, I think both of them there's a good opportunity. Oh, the Commandant trying to get in range of the Jagdpanzer IV. The problem is the Berettas are slowly getting there. Yeah, and they're going to actually snipe them. Yeah. That is a huge save right there by the Beretta. And yeah, the SDKFZ, same thought process there, but the SDKFZ in a great position, actually doing heavy damage to that P-47. It's smoking. There's a chance it could die.
Ooh, oh, but this Jagdpanzer, oh god, this M10 needs to land these shots. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
First one's a miss. The second one's going to get a bounce. Yeah, he needs to back up. He's not going to win that.
Because what the
so this position is broken.
Is 130, so yeah, he's...
Not at that range, yeah. No. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, and the Jagdpanzer's elite, it's veterans, 2-star veterancy, so that's gonna happen. He brought another M10. Maybe if he had two of them firing together, there'd been a higher chance. So no, now Mimile's in a great spot, and what you need to do if you're Jaapaasa is you need to go south, go into the middle portion of the map, because you're not getting that back with DFL. You just don't have the firepower, and you're also V for victory. You don't want to waste your entire income advantage coming up here in a few. Trying to take back one flag. It's just not worth the effort.
No, and right now what we're seeing is that buildup of forces in the north.
The BF-109 died.
Yeah, this is within the first 10 minutes, so that means that he's had that 135 to be able to push in, and now he can reinforce that even further. So he's got the AA from the very beginning, right? So now we're going to have those P-47 strikes. They're going to be neutered, so even if he does put support equipment up there, Jaapaasa's going to have a hard time digging it out, and we're going to see that play out here.
Yeah, there's nothing in DFL's deck that's going to allow him to push these units off that hill. What he needs to do is just maybe try and hold his furthermost flag there, but for him, he needs to go somewhere else. It's time to start sending points there, especially probably, I would go middle, maybe across the river. He does have a foothold. Actually, a little on the peninsula, position there. He can maybe try pushing out from that point. But honestly, there's no point in trying to go back up that hill. That's just a recipe for death.
Where his unique unit, that BIMP Trepanide is honestly going to probably be his best bet. And he has partisans there to be able to see any reinforcements that come through. So,
yeah, he does have some partisans there, which could play a little bit of havoc if things go well for him. But he's fed another M10, so 2 M10s have died for no gain up here in the north. That's not cheap. You really don't like to just lose your tank destroyers off the rip like that. Though
Yeah.
I do believe those are the which one is he bring?
Well,
No,
he has
actually that
them.
kind of confuses me. I'm kind of surprised how he does his armor just a little bit.
Well,
But yeah, I mean in general, this is going to be a pretty yeah. Look at that Pack 40 just annihilating that M10.
Yeah, no, like the North read it off right at this point. He's got half tracks, and you can see here he's trying to push those legionaries across.
Yeah, he's gonna try to. It's a long way to drive, though. I wonder why he's.
And he's calling it in. Yeah, he's got more legionaries, more bimps, and a Stuart. It looks like he's gonna start prepping now that B phase has started to go across. And what we're seeing here now is Mimile's trying to solidify to take that other flag that 37 is holding.
Yeah, and he should, because that'll get him to the 14-10. Because Mimile doesn't need a knockout blow here, though he probably could push down and get another flag and get a double tick going if he really wanted to. There's really not a lot here that can stop any of this, though he did buy an SK-18, so heavy artillery kind of coming out. Mimile's just in a much better position because so much effort by Jaapaasa was put into holding the north, and he basically every man died on that northern position over an 8-minute period. It just really sets him up for failure as this game goes on. I mean, yeah, that 57 can get annihilated. He does kill the gorilla. I mean, that is nice, right? But if you're Mimile, there's no reason you should stop pushing. Like apply the pressure. You can get 2, maybe 3 more flags, which could offset any advance that Jaapaasa makes into the center town. And so Mimile's just put himself in a much better position because, I mean, they basically had a meeting engagement for the most part, and he won it hands down.
And one of my favorite units out of this division of 26 Panzer is this Italian Stug M43. Just such a beautiful, unique unit.
Yeah, super unique. It's a one of a kind. You can also go play it in War Thunder if you have it available. And yeah, there's the 15-9 right there. Yeah, and actually Jaapaasa buying a 155, I don't understand that move. I mean, there is an element to like, hey, I just need to do something. I need firepower out on the map. But if you look, he is severely outnumbered across this whole map. So these legionaries are going to run across here. Those are base MG34s. I would have preferred something maybe with a Panzerfaust, but it doesn't matter. So he will kill this unit, and he'll snag a flag here, which will stop the double take. The problem is, if there were 5 or 6 units here, I'd be like, oh, there's something, we could do something with this. There's going to be at max 2 legionnaires there for the immediate time. That's going to give a lot. That's just not enough to really do damage, and it gives Mimile a pretty big heads up saying, hey, you need to respond to this, to what's going on in the middle here.
Yeah, because he's bringing that Bimp in and the Stuart, but at the same time, Mimile's bringing in Panzer. Oh, no, he's not. That's going all the way down to that other peninsula. So it's going to be interesting to see if Mimile actually starts reacting, because he's reacting in the south more than he's reacting in the center.
Yeah, absolutely. It's he's clearly Mimile's clearly understanding where the flow of this game is going, and so as this Jaapaasa is making moves into the middle, he's just like, hey, I'm going to keep applying pressure until I meet resistance of the north, which has basically been non-existent. I mean, there's an M10 and M105 there, but that's not enough. This half-track snagging a flag, that works when you're trying to win the game, right? Like when you're like, oh, I can snag a flag. Oh, and there go a partisan getting a kill though. On the that is really nice. That actually is a pretty big little pick there. Does it matter overall? I'm not sure at this point, but that is a nice pick, especially if the partisan get away and the legions come. Oh, but the Panzer 3M is now responding. The SK-18 is, what's he hitting? Oh, the Bofors. Yeah, he'll probably kill.
So that's a
little short.
Even though it's
so the M10 dies.
Range. Oh no. He's firing at the edge of his radio range where the Bofors used to be, and he's trying to get that smaller...
Yeah, he's trying to... Yeah. He might get it. It'll be really close there. But if, an 88's now up here, so it's going to start with the Geppers, and it gives you a lot of AA. So basically what Mile's doing is, like, I'm going to put out my support equipment first, and then I'll bring out more as he needs it. But the problem now is that he's really contained this push for the most part. The partisans getting a snipe was nice, but... the Bips, if Jaapaasa could really set up and where this church tower is, there's an opportunity to maybe use it as a launch pad. But the problem is the north is gone. Like there is no rectifying that situation. Every single unit should probably just leave the top portion of the map there and just keep pressing down. I mean, he could cut off a reinforcement road.
It honestly looks like he's pushing a Panzer IV-J into that and another Jagdpanzer AO. He's honestly cutting off the entire top 2 reinforcement roads with those 1750 ranged units. even though if you look up north, that reinforcement road is now clear to use again, but that threat of that AO, so it looks like the 155 actually killed that Jagdpanzer AO, right?
Yeah, it does look like it happened. Yeah,
but I don't think Jaapaasa is going to want to push his luck there, especially with the exploitation we're seeing in like the southern portion of the northern area.
Yeah, a problem with also like having like very heavy half-track infantry at this point for Jaapaasa too is that it is a little more expensive to get all of his units out here. Oh, there might be a sniper with the bips on these Panzergrins. Mimile with very aggressive placement multiple times here, knowing that there's infantry with anti-tank capability around. He's gonna get away with it here, and actually he's gonna probably Panzerfaust this half-track to get it. Oh no, it's just out of range.
No, yeah.
So he's gonna try and come across here. He's going to get across. Yeah, enough half-tracks are here. So this is going to kind of blow this open a little bit. The problem is that he is still getting double-ticked. And that Jagdpanzer's right there. The Panzer IV is going to probably go kill that Bofors.
Yeah.
The 105 is basically... I mean, now it's counter-battering the SK-18. But there's really not much for do. The map's too fluid for heavy artillery right now for him.
I honestly agree. But we're going to see a beautiful breakout in that center portion once these half-tracks pin that Panzergrenadier Panzerfaust. But this FAMO 88 is going to be able to cut
FAMO
off.
88 could... Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it could 100% cut off. Like, I don't know if the breakout's actually going to... Yeah, this is already slowed down too much. Everything Jaapaasa has tried to do post the northern debacle, it's like just too little or too late or too slow, and it gives him a meal. Like, he's just reading these plays very effectively.
I want to point out that this SK-18 105 has pinned and pretty much killed this 155, which is wild to me that the SK-18 is able to...
Oh, the SK-18's great. The SK-18 is, I mean, it's probably the best artillery piece per price in the game, I think. I mean, maybe that's older news. Maybe there's one, someone in the comments can say, after they've liked and subscribed, they can drop a little comment. But it used to be per price the best counter battery piece in the game, like hands down.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the LFH 105. That's an
absolute that thing sucks.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the SK-18 is
And one thing we're seeing right now is we're seeing that the Panzer Grenadiers from Mimile are able to engage with their armor and at medium range, while Jaapaasa is desperately trying to get in close to be able to do the knife fighting that he wants to do, but he's just not able to do it right now.
Yeah, and it's a downside to DFL here. It's why DFL, I said, it's very CQC focused. Whether it's the tanks, it's the infantry, it's really not meant to go, especially even at medium ranges, it's going to suffer in armored engagements. I mean, we see here these Panzer IIILs, they're more than capable, if you're using the APCR correctly, of doing really good damage against Shermans, right? Like, especially 2-on-1. The M10s are hard countered by the Jagdpanzers. Add in that there's PAC 40s. Add in that there's, Panther A's. I mean, we haven't even seen a Panzer IV-H called out. So there's just so much decent firepower, medium range firepower. I mean, plus also the longer this game goes on, there's a Verframen in this deck. Like this, it's just not quite, I think, the right deck matchup if I would have chosen for Bobber.
I think it would have been an interesting deck matchup had he, instead of pushing across the river up north, fought tooth and nail for that top spot with his close combat infantry. I think that might have been the better move, especially with that green and yellow forest as the Germans pushed in. Because once those Beretta Stofftrooper are dealt with, that's pretty much all the close combat this deck has. But because Mimile was able to flex that CQC unit up there and overwhelm and then fortify, while Jaapaasa didn't have the infantry he needed there. You know where I'm going with that?
No, I do see where you're going, and there is an element. I mean, there's there goes the Jagdpanzer IV. It died to the Sherman or the 57. I'm not sure. There's a nice little armor ball there. I mean, there is a lot of infantry and units really quick coming out for Jaapaasa. The problem is he's in such a bad position, being down 17-7 in B phase. Like this is the time where you're supposed to be up 17-7, which means that Mimile not only is holding his own, in the income disadvantage here in B phase, but he's actually advanced substantially from the ending of A. But no, I do think that the big thing is you got to use your decks in the appropriate places for them, and you need the northern position, especially with the M8s. Like you could have put 2 or 3 M8s up there, and any northern push across that road, along with the 37s, which go. I think the 37 comes in in a traction, don't they?
It's either a traction or you might be able to put it in a Jeep. I remember no, because he used the tractions for the partisans.
No, he's got a traction on it.
Oh, he does?
Oh no, you're wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah, if the partisans are in the traction and then the 37's in the jeep. That's still
Yeah.
really quick though.
Yeah, no, that's a fast boy. That's like I think they
Right.
nerfed it down to what 100 kilometers an hour, and the
Yeah.
tractions are 110 or something like that. So you're still able to get those like really light units into like areas fast.
No, absolutely. It's just a couple small things, which typically is mostly whether you're playing War Game, Warno, SC2. If you're in a Eugen game, a lot of times it's small decisions which kind of just snowball into debacles sometime, and that's exactly what's happened here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go for the opening moments, like the 105 being put in the south with no A protecting it. Like you're basically just screaming "Stuka me!" Like that's really what and that's what happened. And then here, the breakout, the attempt to break into these houses. I mean, he's gotten in there, right? But there's so much firepower here. He can't get his tanks across the river, so that means he's boxed up. He still hasn't gotten the north. Like the north is never getting back under control, right? Especially now that Stug M43 is up in place. Like it not only has 2,000 meter range, right? It's got a 50% base accuracy, which is not bad. What's the real limiting factor there for it? That it has 10 rounds.
Yeah, something along those lines. And at the same time, I want to point out that Mimile is microing that APCR, and he basically did what you talked about earlier, which is 240-point Panzer III-Ls were able to double team a Sherman.
Yeah.
Like it was the casting couch of Bobor.
Yeah, they were like, we're going to give you some Eiffel Tower action right now. But that's what you need to do. Like, when you have Panzer IIIs, they're 40 points. They're insanely cost efficient. You keep the APCR off, and then if you have to go get like a Sherman or like a T-34, you use them in conjunction. Don't go one-on-one. Take two of them together, because the two of them are actually going to equal, or it might still be less of the cost of the one medium tank, and then let the APCR do some work. I mean, especially if both pin right away, you might just auto-kill it. Bail out, damage, like your crew, all kinds of opportunities there.
Armor cracked, which is my favorite to see. And it's 2 Panzer IIIs equals 1 M4, because it's 40-40 to their 80.
To the 80, yeah. So if you use them together, it's just extremely efficient. It's one reason why I was always kind of a little more Axis heavy, and then even then, if it wasn't Axis heavy, I was playing Soviets. And it's just, the Sherman went through a phase where it was the king of medium tanks, right? It was, like, the Sherman was disgustingly good. It's, I think, at a point now where it's fine, but the game is so old now, players know the tricks, right? Players know how to deal with them in the right circumstances, and a Sherman really isn't that scary. Even, 4 years ago, your Panzer IIIs, you may not have known how to switch APCR, and you would just let it auto die, right?
Yep.
Versus now, like, everybody knows that. Now, this 57 is going to get in a position here. It's going to probably pick off one of them. Oh, it gets a miss. That's unfortunate for him. But the HE from those Panzer IIIs is not really going to dissuade the 57. No.
For the Panzer IIIs and most of the Axis tanks with like those lighter calibers.
For the partisan, might get one more kill.
Oh!
He might get one more kill. The Gepard's just aiming to see it, but the Partisan's going to shoot the Panzerfaust first, and he does get it. One more goes down. Look at that.
Oh, what?
Nasty.
He's going to get the Warflamen! But he noticed it. Oh, yeah, Mimile noticed it. That would have.
But that Partisan killed an SDKFZ and a Gepard. You can see the SDKFZ just by the forest line right there burning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Werfraben will survive here. It's under escort by 2 Panzer IVs, F1s. But where's the Werfraben going to shoot? Let's see.
Oh, he's firing at the housing blocks right there where the Bimps and the Legionaries are getting their.
Yeah, the Werfraben is really cool. There's really not actually a good spot to use it right now. That's kind of just like a I'm so far ahead kind of thing. I'm buying a Werfraben right now.
Yeah.
Because what else am I going to spend my money on? I respect it. SK-18's almost completely out of ammo. He did kill off the 155, which I think is to be expected.
Oh my god, look at the partisans. Look at the partisans.
Yeah, he's making moves right now. He darted across the open right there. This is like one dude in postscriptum just like trying to make it happen. His whole squad's dead. He's been left behind.
Oh my god, is he gonna...
Oh, he's gonna get it.
Oh, he's gonna actually get it.
Oh, no, the machine... Oh my god, he got gunned down. Wow.
Oh my god.
Massacred.
I was rooting for the partisans there. Oh.
There's your thumbnail right there. There's your picks. The Werframen versus the Partisan.
Oh,
yeah. Unceremoniously shot down. And the KD's actually extremely close. Partly the Partisan at the end kind of went off. Where's that Partisan? He went the F off. Yeah, he got a SCKFZ with a 75 mil, the normal with the oh, why am I blanking on the A1 and then a Gepard?
Yep, that's ooh. He killed 2 of those AA guns, and that means that that SDKF 231/9 probably had a command unit in it because he was bringing
probably
those earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, probably had a leader. It might have had a leader in it, or
And
have been
like,
empty. Maybe he just dropped it off and moved it. But yeah, either way.
yeah, like it was a great game, but I think that the very beginning kind of determined it from there, just because that we saw Mimile be able to fortify that upper portion. Had we seen like Jaapaasa just keep butting his head into that forest, he would have been able to utilize his infantry more effectively, in my opinion. What do you think there, Graham?
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, like those opening decisions can be really important, especially if they're both aggressive incomes. And so while V for Victory is a little weird, and I typically don't encourage, playing it. Mimile's obviously extremely, he's a very experienced player, and if you play it correctly, it can be devastating. The opening moves were, at the end of the day, Jaapaasa's decision where he chose up in the north to make his stand wasn't the right decision. And then when he tried to reinforce failure immediately after it, it led to every single one of those northern units dying, which there's almost no recovery from that. Like Mimile would have had to have the biggest throw of throws to kind of lose the game at that point, which is, sometimes unfortunate. It's kind of like 10 minutes in, you can see it's like, oh yeah, this game's over. Even if it is like 14, 12-12 or whatever, you could just see the writing on the wall. But hopefully, I think the viewers probably still enjoyed it, and there was still some good action, and that partisan unit went off. Like that was super fun.
I was hoping to get the Warflamen at the end. I'm like, please get it, partisans.
Yeah, I would have killed the Verframen, and then I would have left right after that.
Well, he did kind of leave after the partisans.
He did kind of leave,
yeah.
right? He did leave, just not on the term you wanted to, right there. Poor partisan, gunned down in the field right there, right before he could do the Lord's work.
Exactly, French farmer with a Panzerfaust, like, oh, he's going, and
gone. And bye.
All right, with that, I'd like to thank everyone for making it this far. Please like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. Again, thank you. Graham, any last-minute things you want to say before we head out?
Like, subscribe, comment, have a Merry Christmas.
All right, and with that, thanks everyone, and we'll see you in the next cast.